Hey guys, my name is Jonas, and today we're going to be looking at a Echo CS-315. This is an interesting little saw. To my knowledge, it's about 30 cc's. Not a huge powerhouse. Uh, you can see it's pretty dirty. Pull cord's missing. It's got a pretty small bar on it. And we're going to see if we can make it run. This was picked up on the side of the road for free. My girlfriend found it. And she's like, well, I'm sure you can get it going. And luckily, this saw was not stored with gas in it. So the fuel lines and everything like that, all the rubber is still intact, nice and soft, and I won't have to be dealing with that. I really like the side pipe exhaust. That's pretty cool right there. These saws were made from, I think, 76 to like 83. I have seen smaller saws, so I'd call this about a medium-sized saw. Nothing huge though, made in Japan. It's been probably sitting in a shed for 30 years. Nice little rig. So just cleaning it up, it's actually in great condition. It was just very dirty. The spark plug seems in good shape. All the components are pretty good. Nothing cracked or anything like that. Still has the air filter. Air filter cover's cracked. That's the only thing that's broken. As of now. The spool is not spinning, but we'll deal with that later. I'm doing a voiceover for this video because I couldn't find my tripod. I moved recently, and people like this, I may do it again. But I do want to incorporate kind of like some hands-on work in the future. I may voice it over again, who knows. I like the oiler on top, that's pretty cool. Really easy to get to, unlike a still, which is right at the bottom. And the caps are in nice shape too. Walbro carburetor. Everything seems to be working good. And the sprocket has about, I'd say, 70% life left. It probably won't be hard to find a sprocket for this if it does strip out. So what I like to do is hook up a drill and spin the engine counterclockwise to see if we have spark, and we do. If it seems intermittent, that's because it's a ground issue. I think it sparks better when it's in the head of the engine. So that's very good. This will probably run. So those are the screws that are holding in the sprocket for the return rope. And as you can see, this is probably why this saw was retired so long ago. The plastic spool that the rope winds around is completely shot. It's cracked, it's broken, it's missing chunks out of it. Somebody tried to fix it before, and I'm gonna see if I can fix it better. Not a good design. They should have made it out of metal. To get to it is very easy, but they should have made it out of metal. Cost cutting, but I'm sure we can get it going. So what I got here, this is a spool from a Homelight XL76 that I have been modifying to fit this saw. I shaved down the edges probably about ½ an inch because it was a big saw. Chamfered them so the rope doesn't fray when it gets wind back up into it, and I shortened the pegs that grab onto the flywheel so it fits inside the case. What I also did was I made a brass bushing that you can see right there that will fit on the that will fit on the peg, I guess, on top of the spring, so it's not rattling all over the place. This took quite a lot of work. It took a while to do. I had to do it with an angle grinder. It depends on what it is, but I know this was made out of magnesium, so you gotta be careful not to get it too hot when you're working with it, because magnesium burns. And you can see right here it fits inside the case with the bushing inside of it that I made. And the spring is not in it right now. I'm just seeing if it spins, and it does. This was an incredible amount of work, but it's going to be worth it in the end. As you can see, I'm excited. And now I have the spring in there. It hooks up perfectly to the bottom of the spool, and the pegs will grab the hooks on the flywheel pretty good too. I had to modify those a wee bit, just file them down, because these pegs, there's 3, and the old one there was only 2. And I just have a temporary orange rope on here just so it doesn't chew up my good rope, just to see if it does work. I put primer on that little cover right there if you haven't noticed. So the spool is fixed with a part from a completely different chainsaw. So right here, I'm taking the spool apart again to put some brand new rope on it. And we're going to take it for a run and see if we can get it going after this. This saw, when they're stored with gas in them, oh my gosh, that's so bad for it. Because if they're sitting in there with gas for years and years and years, it almost like turns to crystals, and it's very hard to get a saw going after that. It's horrible for the carburetor. Usually, even if they do sit for a very long time, without gas in them, they're still a pain in the ass to start. You have to wake them up from their slumber. This one wasn't too bad. The carburetor needed to be tuned quite a lot. And once you get that going, it runs perfectly. You'll see that in a minute. I kind of do this for a side hustle. I fix small engines, mostly chainsaws. I like working on saws a lot. Kind of collect them a little bit. I've had a lot. Can make some decent cash selling them around here. I've always something I've always liked to do. Always helps when you get some good nylon rope. Don't use paracord like I was before. That was just to see if it was going to chew it up. The paracord breaks really quickly. This nylon rope's way stronger. I'm not sure if this saw runs on points or not. I think it does. So if it does lose spark in the future, you may just have to adjust the points, which is a no big deal. If the points are completely shot, you can always convert it to electronic with a diode. I did that on my 032, my still 032. That was a point saw, it was not electronic. And I put the diode underneath the flywheel and rewired the whole saw. And it runs on the same flywheel and it runs great. It's got nice strong spark now. So let's see how it sounds. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I appreciate it a lot. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a like. Maybe subscribe too, because I'm going to be posting more stuff soon.